We are honored to be here for a conversation. We are honored to come through with light frequencies from beyond your reality, from beyond the veil, you would say, the higher dimensional planes of assistance. Lord, we are grateful to be here to offer comforts and wisdom. We are here for inspiration and to present some energy, we will say, for those who are willing to receive or those whom feel a little low, a little lacking, a little undercharged, a little despair, if it were. For we see things from a higher perspective, a different point of view. And within this experience, we are full of compassion, we are full of gratitude, and we are grateful again, we will share, for the opportunity to connect in such a way. And you understand there are many on your planet at this time who are feeling waves of ascension. They are feeling light coming in new patterns, new pulsations, new frequencies. So within this experience, there is a little bit of chaos. There's a little bit of energy rumbling or rippling or appearing visually like static electricity through and across the airwaves. Now, many whom are psychically inclined are feeling this. They have felt it come on. They are almost, you could say, feeling the thought consciousness, the patterns within the system. However, there are those who may not understand the frequencies, then they are thus feeling the aftermath or experiencing the expressions as they come through in the physical reality after, you would say, in the point in time on a linear perspective, after the devastation has occurred or after the incident has hit. So we are grateful to be here. We really want to highlight that time is eternal in different spaces of reality, and all will be well, dear ones. All will be well. Those whom have given their lives for the ascension and the experience are protected and safe in a space of oneness, love, and compassion at a soul level. And we understand the devastation for mankind. However, we are here to share that many of you are doing a very fine job in sharing your light across the world to calm the, we would say, nervous system, as it were, of Gaia and of mankind and of the animals. And we continue to ask you to come to heart space and be present in the now reality. So thank you, dear ones. And Karen, beautiful. What a delight to be here. We have shared so much. We are excited to hear your thoughts upon the matter or any deepening in questions that you might have.
Yeah, so first of all, thanks so much for being here with us today. We're so grateful for your presence and your wisdom. One of the questions that's coming up right now is related to all the chaos that's unfolding and people feeling a sense of hopelessness or powerlessness about it because, of course, with a lot of these events or occurrences, there really isn't anything physical that we can do. We can't, go to these physical locations and be of assistance necessarily. But how do we contribute in terms of healing or in terms of energy? I know a lot of people feel a sense of guilt sometimes when when there's the presence of devastation or the presence of war, and so people can feel a sense of powerlessness and also a sense of guilt if they're, feeling positive when other people are suffering. So, do you have any words of wisdom related to that right now?
Indeed, dear one, indeed. Yes, indeed. So there is so much to share here. Firstly, we would love for all to not stop the frequencies that they might be feeling of emotion and love and compassion. If a frequency of your own emotion or thought is around your system, we encourage you to be with it and let it flow through, to experience, express, to note, to communicate with, and let it flow through. Because if you are blocking or holding and trapping the frequency, this will continue to charge up your system with that frequency, whatever it might be, surrounding the devastation. And so it must be passed through the system, through the mental body, the emotional body, and let yourself release. And some may say, oh, is it appropriate to laugh, to dance, to cry? Whatever way your body, your system needs to release, let it release. So yes, to cry, to speak, to walk through nature, to move, to dance, to sing songs of worship, sing songs of praise, sing songs of gratitude, sing songs of rejoicing. You see all of the emotions that the human experiences. So, firstly, to recognize, to be present with the energy and let it flow through. And the sanctity of life, honoring the sanctity of life and all aspects of the sanctity of life. And one thing we would share that is happening here is a deepening in compassion and a deepened awareness of the gift of life, the importance of the now moment. For many get caught in the collective rush of surface level experiences or social platform expressions or monetary digits on their computer screen. They're looking at the surface level. We say that when nature strikes, when experiences happen, there is a crumbling of that facade and it is a coming back to the soul perspective. What is important? The compassion, the community, the unity, the friendships, the family, and also the connection with oneself to God, to the creator, to earth herself, and to the soul level experiences of all whom are here working towards an ascended state of enlightenment within the planetary system. So we are sharing first and foremost, feel. And within those feelings, if you feel grief or doubt, express and let it through. We do not see too much where we would encourage you to hold on to the guilt. So we are going to speak about that right now. If you are feeling guilt, we would say, are you and do you feel you are in a space where you have been called to be? Are you following your intuition every day? Now, this will be a different answer for all. But if the answer is yes, then you could say, okay, well, why would I be feeling this guilt then? And in what ways can you let go of that and put the energy, transmute that frequency, and put it into action? We will speak of action in a moment. But if you are feeling guilt and you would say, I should have or I could have been there, know that there are many timelines and you are where you are for a reason, and there is much that you can do from where you are. If you could not have been there, there is no reason for you to feel guilt. We would love for you to spin it into light, spin and transmute that frequency into love. And what can you do? So here are the actions. You can hold peace in your space, in your local facilities, your local communities, your local family units, your local, well, we would say everything that is within your inner circle and space, and let that light then shine out towards those that can feel it. Now, monetary assistance, money is energy. So there are many ways you can assist monetarily. Research the best way that those whom you are trying to assist can receive the assistance if it is through monetary assistance. But all can receive assistance through words, through a hug, through energy, through a well wish, through prayer, dear ones. Worship is a word that has been misconstrued, and many refer to worship being religious or associated with religion. But when you really look at the word worship, it is coming to a space of humble gratitude with a heart opening. So, worshiping the love that is here in a sense of feeling the light of love within your system, being in nature and expressing through prayer messages of compassion, well wishes, and light workers who understand how to move energy. We are saying to help lift the heaviness or release chaos that has congealed and started to form in one location by sharing light and love as a prayer to the space, a calling to peace in the space, a reverence of pulling down love in the color pinks and greens, all the color frequencies,
Mm.
and letting it travel through you call remote healing or prayer, letting it travel to those locations in need, dead one. Those who have been affected feel the love around and they feel the support, and the continuation of support will be important.
Mm. I love that. It's interesting that you bring up the word compassion because as I was meditating this morning, I was feeling that word coming in so strong in relation to the wars that are unfolding right now. But it was actually really surprising what was coming through. My guide Sarai was showing me that it's not just the victims of the war that we need to hold compassion for. It's for the, I guess you would say, those that are attacking or perpetrating the violence. We need to hold compassion for those beings too. So that's interesting because I don't think we as light workers necessarily think of that. It's not the first thing we think of is holding compassion for those that are starting the war or perpetuating it. Do you have any words to share about that?
Yes. Many who are involved, you would say boots on the ground, are being controlled at a higher power, told what to do. And even if it were that they were given false or accurate information, it is somewhat out of their control and they are living in a state of fight or flight. Now, depending on where you are in the world, you may say it is not out of your control. However, if you are threatened with death and the death of your family, then you would say you are put in a pretty tight space, yes? So it puts mankind back to the warring that humanity has experienced for many eons and is working diligently to release and to let go of. See, when the world came to a space where communication can happen instantaneously across your planet, it is heightening all aspects of experiences of death and destruction or light, peace, and unity. And so the goal is that the awareness would be and all would come together to work in harmony, to calm and release the frequencies that are pounding onto the system. We are speaking like the military system, the frequencies of distrust we are sharing, the frequencies of political gain, and all that is associated with the wars. We are looking for compassion and prayers to those who are in control, that the light can soften and dissipate and release, if it were entities, thought forms, emotions, whatever it might be running that program or pushing that quote show into action, the warring into action. So all would benefit greatly from prayers and compassion to soften the energies that are heightened, to release and dissipate. And also for those you would call soldiers or perpetrators who are committing these vile acts of violence, understanding where did they come from and what must they have felt to have to do so. Now, if you are one who can see through realities and understand too that some of the human bodies are fully overwhelmed or overtaken by entities that are not so much, you would say, human or initially originated with the physical body, meaning a complete or near to complete takeover, this is where calling upon higher powers such as Archangel Michael, um, Raziel, Raphael, any of the higher beings of archangels or your ascended masters, Christ consciousness itself or Christ himself, any whom you feel drawn to ask, can come in and create a shield of light to also help. A word we're going to say is disassociate the entity from the body, but we mean it to say release, extract the entity from the body. And so there's a way to clear and heal. And all one might need to do is call on for assistance. This does not need to so much be done by those who are skilled and well versed in the process, because it should not be your you do not need to get involved. We are not encouraging anyone to get involved one-on-one and intricately with, we would say, like a soul release. Or a spirit release or entity removal. We are saying, put forth a prayer for it and let those words and the energy of compassion float across the airwaves, floating up to heaven, calling on the angels to be with you. So that it's a very interesting dynamic, and there are intricate details to the dynamic that are far out of the concern of mankind for individual light workers. So we say, put your prayer forward, and your prayer is providing energy that then the spiritual assistants can utilize to maneuver and work with and orchestrate. It gives so those who are in a physical body have a gift straight away. When you are born, you have a gift that those who are not in a body have. And that is that you have the ability to harness frequency into the physical reality. So you are putting forward and forth energy that light consciousness can utilize and steer towards creating a space of harmony on the earth and working with that ascension. So it is working your magic, you call it, your light from in the body through prayer is very powerful, more so than many give credit to. And especially it's needed at this time, more so at this time than many other spaces in time of the past, dear one. Does that make a sense?
Yeah, it makes so much sense. Um, and I know, you mentioned the influence of, I'll call them lower frequency beings or lower frequency entities. I know I've received that question before in terms of people are really curious about knowing more about that. Is it a specific star race, or is it, in terms of the lower frequency entities that may be influencing um, humans on the planet? Is there anything that you can share that would be helpful to know?
We will share that we would not give credence to one particular star race because that takes the power out of the control of the humans. That you give the power away. So I would say, and actually, in particularly, it is not just one. There are lots of entities. So you think of Earth as a melting pot, a soup or a stew, as it were, of many beings in the physical and in the energetic realms who are here. And you, just as you would say, how are we putting a label upon the human race? There are many who would be enjoyable to be around and others who would not. Yes. So
Yes.
we would just say it is a consciousness within some of the energies and entities, but at a level two, do know that some of the energy has been released. So now it is in the airwaves as a thought form programming. We
Yeah.
aren't going to attach to one specific race. It is floating in its
Yeah.
own space, its own. Yeah. Yeah.
That makes sense. And then there's that telepathic influence or energetic influence, either one.
Yes, indeed.
Sarai recently referred to this collective of lower frequency beings as the toddlers because
Uh,
and her purpose with that, it was to kind of lighten it up a little bit so there wasn't a heavy density of fear around it, but also to indicate that in terms of their level of consciousness, it's kind of like an immature level of consciousness. Does that make sense to you as well?
yes, indeed. And those who are more advanced just need to take a moment like a parent. They observe what is happening here and then how can we settle it down and get things back in order, as it were, right? So calm the system. So we
Yes.
understand that. Yes, indeed.
Okay.
But
That's exactly what she said. She said if you imagine a toddler having a tantrum, ideally, if you're having a good day as a parent, what's your reaction? And it's just, you hold presence for the one having the tantrum. So I thought that was really interesting. But I know people have a lot of fear around, what are those entities and are they out to get me? And right. So actually, that brings up a good question is what would be some ways that we can ensure that we're, I guess, rising above those frequencies so that they're not influencing us? Because I assume that if we can hold a higher frequency, then we're less susceptible to that influence. Does that make sense?
indeed, we were speaking to Amy yesterday, as it were, with this topic. So it's interesting. They're saying interesting with a wink wink that the question comes through. So if you are in a fearful space, you have given away your power in that your light is diminished and the brain begins to make up stories about what is it to be afraid of, you see. And you and Amy spoke previously about speaking and thoughts about predictions. And so it is like almost in that way, what are you actually going to be creating from a space of lack or doubt or shame or grief or guilt or fear? And so we say, this is not to overlook truly what is happening. We're not asking you to float in the clouds all day and dance with the unicorns, but we are saying to make sure you are balanced in a sense, giving a lot of encouragement to the gifts and the beauty of what can come forward on earth and hold your light high, meaning bright. Fill your entire being with the love and the assistance and the positive outlook, at least give yourself space to consider a positive outlook. And that's going to build your frequency.
Mhm.
And then when your frequency is built, what happens is you become in a connection with assistants. And we'll just go to guides and angels, archangels, ascended masters. And from there, you're going to feel that truly within those frequencies, the vile acts of whomever, okay, we'll just say that, and the thought forms and the emotions that are low in nature will not have control over one, because it is like you are looking through a glass and you can see it trying to get to you, but you do not feel it. It cannot get through, and you are just saying, interesting that that energy is getting so kicked up and so angry. So I feel safe here. I'm just going to say a prayer and ask for the guidance of the light of source and God consciousness and all the beings in spirit to assist that energy, to assist that entity, if it were. So if you are going to give your power away in the space of fear, then you will open where your light dims a little bit and your aura can open and energy can come through and push on you. You can feel it, and that creates more fear. So it is about keeping the light strong, and it is not turning away and not knowing that something is existing there, but it is saying, well, it is there, but it is outside. I'm protected within your sacred space. And so, how can you work by working with higher level beings to calm and soothe that energy? And you see, calm and soothe it because, again, it could be like the toddler or the teenager throwing a tantrum. And so, settling it down to be. However, it is very accurate and very true if some energy were to come into those who are sensitive, and in whatever way it sneaks in, if it comes in through conversation in a physical world or a connection or an interaction with another or an experience, or if it solely is in the emotional or mental space, however the energy makes contact, if it makes contact, we encourage you to breathe and release the fear and consistently call on guidance to help separate you from that and flush and pull the energy out of your system. And then this is where mantras come in and prayer comes in and music, repetitive music, asking and lifting your spirit, brightening your spirit well beings. Your guides, your team can help release that energy from your field, because depending on the nature and how intense it becomes when it does get closer to the body or in the aura, it is a true, you would say, you are not making it up, you are really feeling or sensing the chaos. So again, it's important for connections like you two here and all of community to remind one another that, hey, if you are feeling that something got in or you are feeling a little down, reconnect with your fellow beings whom are here, and they're holding the light, they remember, and they're sending you like a life raft or a vest to help pull you up and out. And so unity consciousness is important amongst those who are in a physical body, the light working beings. And also we are stressing that that unity consciousness of your teams in spirit are all working together as well. So we hope that this helps you to understand and give a space in which you can hold the light to remain in a place where you can take action. Yes, and find yourself supporting your community and your families.
Mm, that's beautiful. I just had a question pop into my head that's kind of related to this, but, the question is, we all, as light workers or star seeds, we all are interacting with a variety of people all the time. Family and friends, right? And others. And some of them are on the spiritual path and some of them are not. I was just curious as you were speaking about these energies and these influences. For, let's say we're in a friendship, for example, with someone who is not on the path. Is there an would that person be more um easily influenced by like a negative energy that's seeking to come through and deplete us? If you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just curious if I know it's very uplifting to hang out with other light workers, and we're all aware of energy and all that, but, I mean, we're not always in those situations. Sometimes we're with people who have no idea about energy or telepathy or influence, and I'm just curious. I've had experiences where sometimes I've felt like something is trying to deplete me through another person, and I'm just curious if that's actually a thing, or what your thoughts are on that.
Yes, sister one, it can be. It is a thing. But let us start at the beginning of our thought here. We will share that not all need to use the same terminology or be studying spirituality or understand it from the way you understand it to create good on earth. So it is more about their heart space, their intentions, the golden rule, doing unto others, being kind, and positive thoughts too, you see. So if you have one who is negative in their thoughts and always expressing the negativity about it, that will for sure it will feel like a thorn in your side or like sandpaper grating on your aura. It will weigh you down. It will be an annoyance because you are then having to buffer and navigate yourself from that. Well, this is what we call distractions from your path and purpose because you are there to share your love and your light and your support. But if somebody is in opposition by their actions and their words, is it really in alignment? Is it really a healthy relationship? Does it support your end goal? We say it does not. So at times, not so much that it is trying to come in and distract and pull you down, but it is what's happening. And it may not be doing so intentionally, although it could be doing so intentionally if there is an entity involved on the other side of it. Um, so you use your discernment and we love to say healthy. Is it healthy? Is this conversation healthy? Is this relationship interaction healthy? Does it leave me feeling in a space that I can help, I can do something because not always do these interactions need to leave us feeling light and bright and happy. If we're talking about something solemn and something that is devastating, moreover, where is your power? Can you feel that you can support and assist? And so that will leave you in a healthy space. But if you are now left with, let's say, three different things within your energy field that you are ruminating about, and now you had an interaction with a friend or a colleague, and you can't, quote, get over it, you keep playing it on repeat, that is not healthy. That is not creating a space for you to move forward. And we say those conversations are topics that were taking you away from your initial goal. So if it keeps playing on repeat, that it's like, oh, well, they brought up this and they brought up that and this one here, but none of that is related to your initial topic of conversation or goal. That is also pulling you as a distraction. Distractions happen and they not always are meant to be such a way, but they can. So that discernment of staying the course, that discernment of reframing, bringing back the conversation to what we were talking about, and learning how to navigate that is important. Now, if one feels like, oh, I just got hit with something, the phone call is done, the conversation is over, my energy is low, see, then you will need to take a time to reset and realign and lift up your frequency. And if that continues on, we would suggest maybe lessening those interactions to the degree that is possible for you.
Thank you. Yeah, that's beautiful. Well, I think that's all my questions. Is there any last message that you'd like to share?
We are just grateful for you all whom are here on the earth in the body, who can hold the light and help us assist and calm the energies that are like water rushing. They're showing waves to the channel, big waves hitting the shore. We are sharing and reminding of the static electricity with strong spikes. You are all calming the energy of the collective. We are grateful for that. We're grateful for the awareness and the heart space compassion and the intention of the heart to assist. And we are grateful that many of you have been following, we'll say, like guidance or your own course in due time to do the inner work, so that you can be present and be here. And the inner work continues, but many of you have made great strides. And for this, we are very grateful. And for those of you who are new to your spiritual journey, as you call it, or the awakening, the ascension, we say you are right in time. You all is well. And we are grateful for your assistance as well. And we are liking to close this with the awareness that the work that you are doing is greatly honored, and there is a lot of gratitude for it. But also, there is an aspect that when the soul and the spirit, the human who is sharing their light with the earth, they then release that light as a prayer, and they do not have to keep a connection in it, so that they are then not tethered to the outcome, and they're also not taking like an egoic ownership over it. It does not become about the self. It is about the work of unity of all light workers who are in the body, what they are sharing with the world. And also, we see from our perspective too, as we mentioned previously, your teams in spirit are all working together. And it is about the outcome. It is about the energy. It is about the healing. It is about the compassion. It is about the work. And so we are grateful for the assistance from every individual being. And when you release it and let it go and know that you are a part of something beautiful, but not all of the pressure and all of the responsibility does not depend or rely on one individual, that will help you to feel like you are a teamwork here, working together, all shining your light brightly.
I love that. Thank you so much. That takes the pressure off.
Yes. Yes, indeed, Deban. Yes, indeed. Thank you very much for this conversation. We are going to leave the body, let her come back in, and we are grateful again. And then we do look forward to a future conversation. And to all whom are here listening, we will see you all again very, very soon. Thank you, dear one.
Thank you.